start of another walk. Only 2 days, half a day today and a fuller day tomorrow. I'm here in the beautiful Llanthony priory. I've started walks from here before. It's one of my favourite locations in the Black Mountains. It's very peaceful, and this is an ancient abbey that was sacked by Henry VIII. But my walk today is going to take me from here up onto Bal Bach, Bal Mawr, over to Chwarel y Fan, following parts of the Cambrian Way, and then I'm going to drop down towards a reservoir nearby, and I'm going to put my tent down near the only bothy in the Black Mountains. I've camped there before. It's a favourite spot of mine. And then tomorrow I'm going to leave there. I'm going to head over to the Olchon Valley, which is in England, and then climb back up onto Chwarel Ridge and come back to the priory. So not a particularly long 2-day backpack, but just fantastic to spend some time in this lovely weather in fantastic scenery, which isn't so far from where I live. Hope you enjoy what I do. First part of this walk today takes me up to Bal Bach via Twmpa. It's a lovely valley, quite steep, but very pretty. Now, I've got a new tent with me today, and I'll tell you more about that later on when I pitch it. But it's 400 grams lighter than my Terra Nova. I'm not going to get rid of my Terra Nova, no way. That's my default tent for most conditions in the UK. But I'm going to the Alps this year with 2 friends, and because this tent is much lighter than my Terra Nova, it'll be a great tent to carry when I'm backpacking over the big mountain passes that I'm going to. I've also got my eye on a 4-month trek potentially next year, and the plans have started for that. My flight is booked out, and I'm not going to tell you much more about that at this moment. But if I can get this tent to work for me, 400 gram saving on my back for such a long trek will be a real bonus. Anyway, more about that later. Let's enjoy the climb and get up to Bal Bach. It's been a slow start today. Understandably, it's only half a day, so I'm here on Bal Mawr. I'm going to have a bite to eat. Got great views. A bit cloudy today. A little chill on the wind on the top here. It's just very nice. Behind me over there is Vawr. I'll be walking in that direction after I've had a bite to eat. But got great views. I can see the Sugarloaf. Grwyne Fawr, I was there last week with my friend Ange. You can see right across, indeed, as far as the Rhos mountain, which is the top end of the Rhondda valleys. So yeah, pretty good views. I think at the end of this week the weather's going to break and we might have some rain at the weekend. It is very dry up here, but I was pleased to see that the stream in Twmpa was flowing really well, so the springs are working well there. I'm hopeful that the stream where I camp tonight is flowing well too. This is Chwarel y Fan. It's the county summit of Monmouthshire. This is the Grwyne Fawr reservoir. There's a dam wall there. It's incredibly low. It's the middle of May. I don't recall seeing the water this low at this time of year. It doesn't augur well for the summer. I've camped at the end of that dam wall in the past. I'll stick a link to the video for that. I did it with my friend Jason. We had a 2-day adventure in the Blacks. Very similar to what we're doing today actually, except today's a much shorter day than we did. It's very nice over there though, amongst the pine trees. We're going to walk along here now. It's approaching 4 o'clock. And yeah, get to the bothy. It's too early to put the tent down, so I'm going to do a good deed for the day and clean the bothy inside if it needs cleaning. Here we are. This is Grwyne Fawr bothy. Compact and bijou. And there's an upstairs as well. Ladders just yet. And there you go. That's the upstairs bit. Right, baked beans as soon as we left. Amaretto, salt lager, bag of crisps, pot noodles. It's very well stocked tonight. And it's looking pretty clean. There's another couple here where they can have the bothy and I'll put my tent down. There's a nice little bit of flat ground here. Camped here, as I said, in the past. Bit of damage there with the fire pit, sadly. But there we are. Not bad. Well, I just experienced something which is truly awful. I arrived at the bothy and there was a couple with a dog on a long leash, and it was a large Staffordshire Bull Terrier type dog. She fell over because they were walking along the dried up stream below the bothy. I said hello. I asked them if they wanted any help. They didn't answer me. I went to the bothy and did some filming. The dog then got free. He must have dropped the lead. And he started chasing a sheep near the bothy. They shouted, they yelled, but dog was having none of it. I walked over to see what was happening, to see their dog on the neck of the sheep in the shallow stream below the bothy. He managed to get hold of the dog, but the sheep was now stuck in mud, and I wasn't sure at first whether it had broken its leg because it just wasn't able to get out of the stream. He was leaving it there, and I just shouted down that you needed to get the sheep out of the stream. She shouted at me to go forth and multiply, that she had a brain tumour and that she was stressed out by what was happening. He couldn't hear me properly say, you need to get the sheep out of the stream, and he told me that he was pissed off with me and told me to go forth and multiply as well. Really aggressively. I mean, really aggressively. I'm in a location with no phone signal. I've got no way of identifying these people. The sheep did get up from the stream once he got it up, but there was a lot of blood around its neck. But it did run away, which is good. But it's now abandoned its lamb, which is above the bothy and is crying for its mum. and it's been doing that for some time, and it's not going to stop until the two are reacquainted, if that can take place, because there's no way the ewe is going to come back here. As I was putting my tent up, the dog ran away again. I didn't go and look to see what was happening because of the aggressiveness directed at me. Now, it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter whether you understand our mountains, whether you understand how to behave, what you should do with your dog if you don't know how your dog will interact with livestock. But they're clearly not from this part of the world. They are from, based on accent, London or strong southeast, and they're out of their depth, absolutely out of their depth. And I'm now at this location with them in the bothy. Now, as long as I keep my counsel, don't say anything else, they'll ignore me. They're bound to be embarrassed by what's happened. But I can't keep thinking about this ewe out here somewhere, and I can't see it, which is good news. I'm currently above the reservoir, the end of the reservoir, and I can't see it anywhere. So that's good. It hasn't died on the spot down here somewhere. So I'm hopeful that it's made its way on the hillside and well away from here. But its lamb is over there and crying. I'm not backwards at coming forwards, quite happy to stand my ground. For 30 years I did a job where I had to deal with confrontation. I remained calm, but that was a really, really high level of aggressiveness directed at me. And I feel a little vulnerable because of the location I'm in, because I got no way of communicating with anyone. And I got no way of reacquainting the lamb with the ewe, because she's gone, she's well gone. Yeah. Just goes to show, doesn't it? People come to these mountains, come to our mountains. That sounds a bit supercilious, but I mean it, because those of us who use these mountains regularly, we know what the rules are, we know how to behave, we know what is expected. And if those rules are broken, if people take advantage and abuse the livelihood of the upland farmer, you can see why walkers, hikers will become persona non grata and their lives made much more difficult by the landowner. That's enough waffling on. Waffling bollocks, as Dave Goodman would say. He's a YouTuber. But I just wanted to get that cathartic release out, really. Here we are. Go back to the tent in a minute, and I'll show you what this tent is, which I talked about at the beginning of the video. So here we are. This is the new tent. This is the 3FUL gear Lanshan 1. People have been going on about this tent a lot, and I don't know whether it's going to suit me or not, but at £95 for a brand new tent, I thought it was going to be worth a go. I wouldn't have bought it if the internal length was not 230 centimetres. It's recently been upgraded from 210 to 230. That's key for me, but tonight I should be using it for the first time, and we shall see how we get on. No intention of doing a review on this tent. My reviews take place when I've used a tent for at least a year, maybe longer, and I have got something to say about all the attributes of a tent. So we will see how we go on. But this is it, the Lanshan 1. sit up in the tent. That's a bonus. Yeah, it seems like there's plenty of room in here at the moment. So jury's out until the morning, but so far quite impressed with it. So where am I going to be going in the summer? Well, the plan is to go to France with my two friends Andrew and Jason, and we are planning on doing the GR54 in the Grwyne area of the Alps. So we're flying into Geneva, and we booked train tickets to get us to Grenoble, and then we're going to take a bus then to Bourg d'Azon, and over 10 days or so we're going to walk around the Grwyne mountain range. So really quite excited about that. I'm supposed to be going to the Lake District in June with my friend Alan, but he's injured. He's injured his back. I did a South Wales Valleys trip with him recently, and he really struggled on that with his back. He's damaged his rhomboid or trapezium muscle. He's having intensive physio on it at the moment. But we were planning on doing Wainwright's remote Lakeland Trail together, but he's not going to be ready for that. So I'm not quite sure what to do. Our daughter is getting married in the summer, and I need to be in Cornwall in June as well. So I'm just mulling over the idea. I've got these free time in June of possibly carrying on the Southwest Coast Path. I've got as far as Falmouth, having started in Minehead some years ago, and the last time I walked that trail was 2018, well before I did videos. So I'm also tempted the prospect of going back and finishing that off, or certainly doing a good chunk of it. Nice problems to have, but not quite sure what I'm going to do. But for the moment, what I do know I'm going to do is I'm going to have a cup of coffee and sit here and enjoy the peace and quiet now that it has all calmed down over at that bothy. Just having some tomato soup and some bread before I get into the main course of the savoury rice. The guy from over there has been over to see me. I guess he'd be embarrassed, and he came over saying, I haven't come over for a row. He wanted to apologise for his behaviour towards me. We had a chat about things in the mountains, and basically said that they've never done anything like this before, and that they're out of their depth, which is what I said to the camera earlier on, really. Anyway, he confirmed that the sheep did have cuts on its neck, but they were scratches as opposed to ripped skin. I've got to take his word on that. And he was very apologetic, but of course I'm not the farmer, so he doesn't need to apologise to me. But thankfully the lamb that I was concerned about has now gone, so I'm hoping that it has got back to its mum. And I'm going to sit here and have my dinner in the lovely evening sunshine. Well, good morning. It's day 2. I slept very well in my new tent. I can confirm there was plenty of room lengthwise, and it's been unexpectedly tested with rain. It rained for about 2 hours or so. Didn't expect that, and it's passed that test as well. I'm quite impressed for £95 with the quality of this tent. So it looks good. It augurs well for the future. I did get up in the night to do star trails. Got this new GoPro, and I fancy giving the star trails aspect of the GoPro a go, but it was a cloudy sky. This is well before the rain, by the way. So I got back into bed and gave up on that idea. And then about an hour or so after I'd gone back into bed, I heard a rustling outside. I left my rubbish bag in the awning, and there was a mouse there. Anyway, he soon legged it when I put my torch on. And this morning it's a cup of coffee, breakfast now, which is a mixture of porridge and granola, and then I shall get on my way. It's a bit like yesterday, I think. Blue sky, with the odd cloud every now and then, so I'm expecting now a couple of showers maybe today, but we will see. Okay, so I'm off. That lamb that I talked about yesterday and the ewe, I'm sad to say that this morning I saw the lamb trying to attach itself to another ewe who already had her lamb, and she kept butting it off. So I don't think this story is going to end well with regards to the sheep worrying that I saw last night. But there's nothing I can do about it. It really frustrates me, but there's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, let's move on and head now towards the escarpment, then head east towards Rhos Dirion and Twmpa before Gospel Pass and then Hay Bluff. I feel a bit better. I've just phoned 101, Dyfed Parish Police. It's been nagging at me. I know he came over and apologised last night, but that lamb is still abandoned. That ewe, in all honesty, is probably dead. And it's a crime. Sheep worrying is a crime. So my conscience is clear. It's over to the rural crime team for Dyfed Parish Police. It's up to them if they want to investigate. They can come back to me if they want to. But I've done what I think a good citizen should do. I am now really going to enjoy the rest of my day as I walk along the escarpment with fantastic views ahead of me. Hay Bluff is behind me, and I'm now walking on the path that links Hay Bluff with the Dyke National Trail. But I'm not going to follow the Dyke path just yet. I'm going to descend into the Olchon Valley by a path which is really rather pleasant, which I haven't been on for a number of years. And then I'm going to climb out of the Olchon Valley back up onto the ridge and rejoin the Dyke National Trail. So a bit of a masochistic route, but the Olchon Valley is a delight, and I haven't been there for some time, so I'm looking forward to that. So I've now descended into the upper end of the Olchon Valley, and that's it stretching out in front of me. And I can just see where I've got to go. So right about there somewhere is where my climb up. I can see the path. You won't be able to see it with this camera, but I can see my path, and that's where I'm going to be climbing back up onto the ridge. Bit of lane walking now until the start of the climb back up to Hatchwell Ridge. I'm back on Dyke National Trail, having climbed out of the Olchon Valley and it's sprinkling a little rain on me. The climb was quite steep, only about 300 metres though, and I made good progress up the side of the mountain. This will be the last time that I speak to camera. The rest of the video will be of scenes of the route as I return to Llanthony Priory. And I'd like to thank you if you've watched the video. I do hope that you're not too affected by my description of the sheep worrying. It was unpleasant, and I just felt it was necessary to document that in my video today. And I hope there's a lesson out there for people who do own dogs, that your cuddly pooch at home may not be the cuddly pooch you think it is when it sees sheep. Anyway, that said, I really do appreciate the fact that you might have watched my video. I always enjoy reading the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks ever so much.